Okay, so some drastic changes have actually taken place, and you can actually see it. Isn't that right, Miss Candy? Okay, Miss Candy. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for RuPaul's Drag Race. This is season 13, episode 7. Like I said, drastic changes took place. It was fast, it was quick, and sometimes it hits like that. Miss Candy, live and learn, girl. Anyway, so listen to this. Now that Tamisha is actually gone, Elliot kind of feels all alone now, because Tamisha and Elliot were pretty cool, but yeah, Elliot just kind of feels all alone at this point. And then later on in the episode, strangely enough, Elliot ends up opening up and coming out with some information about herself to Tina, of all people, Tina Burner. I was like, really? It was weird, but again, I always say, the people that you're supposed to connect with are just thrust right into your lane. You don't have to do anything. You can't even get away from it. So her and Tina Burner end up talking. Elliot, for whatever reason, felt comfortable, and she opened up to Tina about this clinical depression that she actually suffers with. Found out that Tina's mom suffers with clinical depression as well. So they had like a whole moment. She got to talk. Tina, said some things to her, and it kind of like put things into perspective about the fact of how she is pretty much kind of socially awkward, and just some things. It's like, girl, it's gonna be easier now that you are opening up and talking about it, and people won't be taking what you say and the way you act for granted. Just thinking you being nasty or you're just being rude. They'll notice something is actually really going on. And as the episode went forward, we started to see that. The girls kind of softened up to not saying that she's a bitch. But there's a point in Untucked where she actually walked off away from the group, and wouldn't you know it, Miss Candy actually walked away from the group. Because she's still, Candy's still Candy. But Candy walked away from the group to actually go over and check on Elliot to see if she was okay and what was really going on, and was there anything she could do. Gave her a couple words of encouragement. I said, well, check this out. Look at the new Miss Candy, honey. And again, it was like a burst of reality. I think that whole brush with going home and all of that stuff for Candy made a difference. Even if it's not a long-lasting difference, for right now, I think Candy got it. Nobody, and I say this all the time, I've been reviewing this show since God knows when, but I always say, nobody really likes a bitchy queen. People like a talented queen. And being talented and beautiful, it'll blow up your head a little bit, and people will accept that a little bit, but just a straight up bitch, and I've been in the business for a long time, honey. Those queens, people don't really like them, honey. They don't. And they do end up alone. And 20 plus years, honey, I've been around this whole little situation of female impersonation. Trust me, bitchy queens are just that. They're bitchy queens, and they become old bitches. Period. But I think Candy got it. So good for you, Miss Candy. Anyway, so let's go back. So Rue rolls in. I said, look at Rue. Child, Rue come in here with this whole, I said, come on, Mod Squad. She come in here with this black slacks and black turtleneck and pumps. I said, come on, gender fuck. She come in with her pumps on, honey. I said, look at Rue. Her little hat. She looked cute. She really did. But it was a whole gender mix. I'm here for it. Very rude. And then we did, the library is open. Now, I'm going to tell you who won, which is Gottmack. And is that surprising to me? No. Because of everybody there, Gottmack is the shadiest bitch there. And I have to say, this episode, see, I generally don't really watch Untucked. If y'all, my people, y'all reach out to me and y'all be like, you got to see what happened on Untucked, I'll go and I'll watch Untucked. Um, I think the part of Untucked that's so interesting is when the celebrity judges actually come back and they actually talk with them and stuff. So usually when there's like a huge celebrity, which I was surprised because T.S. Madison was actually on and she didn't appear in Untucked, which was, weird. But I guess it probably had to do with the fact that we're like in full swing of the pandemic and all of that. So, too much contact, So I'm figuring that has something to do with it. But those are the days when I'll actually watch when there's a huge celebrity. Because I don't watch the Untucked because I get enough in the workroom of their personalities that I don't want how I feel about them to deter what it is I'm saying about them as far as what they did in the competition. And in Untucked, you really get to see them and the queen element, the backstage queen element, and the clamoring and clawing for camera time type of thing during Untucked. Well, I've been watching Untucked this season, and I'm telling you all, Gottmack, she's a lot, and she's really about getting on my nerves. So, that's that. Gottmack has gotten on my nerves. She's in a fast race, making me not care for her very much. She's very bitchy. She's very shady. And she always has something sly or snide to say. And it's like, why? Why are you being such a bitch? What is your point? Not liking her very much. I'm here for her craft. I'm here for her talents. But her, in general, girl, she's rubbing me real, real wrong, Miss Gottmack, honey. Anyway, she's too much. She's a bit too. I said, girl, if she's a regular queen, somebody would be done punched her in her mouth, and that would be the other thing because ain't nobody going to jump on her. Because again, she's a trans man. We ain't going into that whole thing. People won't be so apt to pop her in her mouth if she was just a normal male-born queen. Some of that shit Gottmack be sliding out. I've seen queens get popped in their mouth for way less. Miss Gottmack, girl, you better chill out, honey. Anyway, see, there's a lot of confusion. That's why I'm full with this Untucked stuff. But on Untucked, I also seen that, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm not going to, because that's going to take me all the way out. I did notice Miss Simone. Miss Simone is very careful of her image and what she puts out when it pertains to that Untucked and being in the workroom. That's Simone. Honey, Miss Simone, I see you, girl. I see you. Girl, you are really, really well rehearsed for this at this time. And it's a fabulous thing. I watch her. I am watching her. Simone is very calculated in a good way. Very calculated, very abreast of what she puts out. But she actually talked about her story, and her story a lot about her family and her brother and her mother, and how her brother went away, and then she felt as though she couldn't she couldn't make mistakes and stuff. She needed to be as perfect as possible because her mother took the thing of her brother being taken away and being in jail and all of this. So she just never wants to fail. I think all her steps are really, really pre-planned because she lives in that place, of wanting to not disappoint, or embarrass herself, or come across the wrong way. So good for you, Miss Simone. It's perfect for reality TV, girl, because you have to be very careful of what energy you put out, because blaming it on the edit in 2021, it doesn't work. So good for you, sis. Anyway, I noticed that. And then also, La La Ree is very, very highly adored by the full cast for the most part, except for Gottmack. Everybody seems to love La Ree. Gottmack, I don't think loves any of them. It's really she is. I don't think she gives a shit about nobody there. Period. And she don't have to. I think she's there for a purpose. I just think she's a bitch in general, and it just is what it is. But everybody likes La Ree, and I saw that. I noticed that right away. So let's go. All right. So the main challenge was the reboot of Bossy Rossi After Dark. Okay. So it was this whole improv challenge based around like a whole messy ass talk show type of situation. And Ross was there and they're bouncing off of Ross, which is always good because Ross is hilarious. So the teams were like this: Tina and Elliot. Tina was actually doubting Elliot. This is before they even had the conversation. Tina was doubting being with Elliot, like, oh God. And then after they had that conversation, it changed things and they were able to work together. We had Candy and Simone together. Miss Candy, she's coming off of the heels of her little situation and she wants to change up to, she's such a loud, overbearing personality. She wanted to kind of pull that back. And this is one of them challenges where being loud and overbearing would be fine. So Simone was kind of a little bit worried about that. But in the long run, it actually did end up running. It ran in their favor because she completely went the other direction, showed a whole different side. It worked in their favor. Overall, I thought that Simone was hilarious. Simone was hilarious and she killed the challenge. She was funny as hell. Tina and Elliot's little skit, it was okay. Tina overpowered Elliot. Denali, Rose, and Lala were all in a group together. Lala was the weakest in the group. Rose was actually the best in the group. The other group was Olivia, Gottmack, and Utica. Now, Utica was already, and this is what Ru always does this. You girls be setting yourself up for the things that you come in and you're like, oh, girl, I'm the master at that. Oh, yes. Ru, y'all got to know, Ru makes it his mission, bitch, to humble you. Are you, bitch? Are you the master at this? Show me. That's Ru. That shit is done on purpose. That is a Ruism. And if you've been watching as long as I've been watching, I know what I'm talking about. So from the gate, Utica was like, this is where I kill. She wanted this one role. Utica, Olivia was like, no, I think I really want that role. Utica said, okay, girl, go ahead and have it. Ain't no problem. You can have it. Olivia literally killed this role. And it was so funny. I liked what Utica did, but I saw she wasn't the strongest in the group. She wasn't the strongest in the group. And it did blow up in her face, all of the confessional stuff she had about how good she was and all that shit. She got humbled real quick. Real quick. But Olivia actually killed the challenge. She actually played a mime. She had no lines. No lines at all, but she literally killed it. The funny thing was, when the little tug of war was happening about the role, they were kind of like paying attention and they were like just kind of looking. And it was like, girl, okay. Now, it's like, we kind of see you. And Tina Burner called it out. She's like, girl, Miss Olivia kind of got a little bit of a little diva posture, honey. She not as sweet as what we think she is. I think she knows what she's doing. And Olivia kind of was a little pushing. She's pushing for that role that she wanted, honey. And she got it. I was like, okay, so she's not just sweet. And it's more so, that's how Tina put it. What I saw is that she's not a pushover. She's sweet and she's kind, but she's not a pushover. And she kind of pushed back. She got what she wanted. Killed it. Completely killed it. Gottmack, I thought, was the weakest in their group. She wasn't bad. She wasn't bad at all, but she was the weakest in the group. It was, listen, Olivia just, it didn't matter what they did. Olivia, yeah. Utica was doing too much, which is her crutch and also her downfall. She was doing too much. She had her own storyline that wasn't really following their storyline, and she was doing too much, and it humbled her at the end, honey, because the judges was giving, "Are you okay, girl? We don't get it." So that was that. Even T.S. told her. T.S. Madison was like, "Girl, you're weird, honey, and you kind of lean on being weird. Maybe not." It's like, okay, T.S. honey. Anyway, moving on. She wasn't rude about it, but child, y'all know T.S. is my friend, honey. I heard what she wasn't saying, honey. Cut it out, girl. Okay, cut it out, honey. You done stepped your pussy way too far up, girl. Have a seat. But she said it in the nice T.S. Madison form. Shout out to my girl T.S., honey. Anyway, I'm always listening for the conversation that ain't being had, honey. Anyway, not out loud. Anyway, girl, you're weird, honey. Got it out. Okay, so let's see what happened next. Oh, and they were in the workroom, child. They got to reenacting a scene from Maury Povich, and the "You Are Not the Father." It was hilarious. It was hilarious, and the funny part was that Lala kind of didn't do enough. She wasn't over the top enough. But when they did the reenactment of Maury Povich, she killed that, cutting up and clowning and running. You know how they always run. "You're not the father." She's like, "Ah!" and go to running. She did that. She did the shit out of that. But that wasn't what we was judging on. So, good lesson there for Lala. When she watches it back, I'm sure she got it. Anyway, so let's go to this runway. Runway was Beat It. That was it. It was Beat It. Just beat it. Not beat it like beat it gown, but like bead it. Like just beat it. Beat it. That beat it. Ooh, that old thing. So Denali came out. It was short. The bitch came out as like a whole chandelier. She had the champagne gown, and it was beaded and stuff sticking out. It was very costume, very very Met Gala. That's what it gave, and it was beautiful. It was well done. It looked really good. I liked it. Rose came out as Tinkerbell. It was like a Tinkerbell thing, and it was all seed beads everywhere. Tons and tons and tons of them. Very intricate, but it did not come across and translate well on television. I'm thinking if you've seen it in person, it probably really was stunning. But on television, it did nothing for it. Nothing for it at all. Lala had like just a dance costume that you would see in a bar or a show. The proportions were a little bit off. You know what I mean? So it didn't really, because she's tall, and the proportions was off. Like the way the beads started, because Rue made a comment about it, about Bob Mackie and placements of beads, and I told y'all know Bob Mackie's one of my favorite designers, so I knew exactly what comments of Bob's that Rue was talking about. But yeah, the placements of the beads is key to that kind of thing, where it's like a nude illusion and all of that. And it actually had a little rip in it, and of course, Michelle caught it. But it was done with Christmas, those Christmas beads, which you can actually use those in costuming and stage, but you have to be very careful. It's a very fine line, because remember, they're a dollar. They're a dollar. They cost a dollar. You found them in a dollar store. But if you really know what you're doing, it can be done and it'll be sickening. If you don't, it can be look very, very cheap, or like it came from a dollar store. Lala was somewhere in the middle. It didn't look bad, but it definitely did not hold up to some of what else was being done. Perfect example. Elliot with two T's. Actually, her outfit, she came out as like a 1920s flapper, and she had rhinestones and nude illusion and all of this. Her whole outfit, I thought of all of them, there were two that stuck out. It was her for me and Simone. Elliot's outfit was sickening, and it was done with the Christmas beads as well. It was done with Christmas beads, but it was literally sickening. You could, because first I said, is it some Christmas beads? And then I looked real good. I said, damn sure is. But it was done to perfection. To perfection. They didn't play the hot glue gun game with that. They literally sat there and sewed it. They sewed it. So when you get to playing the hot glue gun game with the beads, it starts looking like you was playing the hot glue gun game. But it was sickening. And then that's what I said I would get back to it. In Untucked, they made a comment about her outfit. And I was like, you bitches are crazy. Y'all are crazy. Because she shit on y'all. She shit on y'all. I don't know what y'all was looking at. But Elliot's outfit was everything. She shit on y'all. That damn Gottmack and Miss Candy. But I was like, girl, Miss Candy. They gave Miss Candy grace on her outfit, and I didn't see the big deal. I was like, girl, you just look like a stripper with a stole. A stripper with a fur stole. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't everything they was giving. And I was like, I'll give her this. It was one of the most together outfits that we've seen on her since the competition started. But truly, it was a stripper outfit with a stole and pasties. Whatever. Anyway, Gottmack, I thought she missed the mark. While you so busy talking shit, I think you missed the mark because it was latex and it was like 60s mod, but I didn't get beads from you. It was more balls. You had balls, not beads. And because she's the one that made the comment, she's like, this is Elliot's outfit. She gonna say, are they ever any good? Bitch. But I didn't get Gottmack's outfit. It didn't go, it was balls. It was balls. It wasn't beads. It was balls. It was latex. Let's see. Who else? Where we go? Utica. Utica did this whole bloody bride. Again, too conceptual. Too conceptual. Oh yeah, Gottmack threw that out too. It had all these pearls. She was, are pearls beads? They're more beads than them balls you had, sis. Shut up, Gottmack. See, she was getting on my nerves, y'all. I'm telling you. She was irritating. She was grinding the shit out of my gears. Trust me. Anyway, but she had these pearls. The thing is, they were literally not the standout part of the outfit. The tool, the work she did with the tool and the blood on the bride was the things that really stood out, not the beads. The beads were just thrown in there like, oh, I got to put some beads on her hair. But it was done well, and it was way, way too conceptual. It was like, okay, girl. Again, it looked fabulous. It was like a costume for a horror movie. It was like, okay, girl, but no good for this. Olivia, no ma'am. No ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am. And they went up about it, but I'm going to disagree. She had overalls, and she was dressed up basically like a little girl. And with her thing, she was like leaning onto a little girl with ballies in her hair. It was the same wig that, what was it, an episode or 2 episodes? That was 2 episodes ago. That Candy had on. With the little different color ballies in the hair. And she just kind of came out with it as like a little girl. And I was like, I wasn't here for it. I was like, whatever. And balls. Ballies in her hair. No. But see, this is the thing. Olivia has become a fave. But I wasn't letting her slide with that. I wasn't feeling it. I was like, nope, 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 nope. And we seen that wig already. I would have tried to do something else with the wig, being as though somebody else just wore it like 2 episodes ago, the same type of wig. I said, it's almost identical. I was like, damn. Anyway, and I know that's got to be, when you go to get dressed. But anyway, let's see. Simone, child Miss Simone came out and gave you Africa, honey. Her little outfit was everything, honey. And it was everything Africa. With her black greased up, beautiful skin, honey, shimmering. I said, you better come on here. She looked just like a little black Barbie doll, a little black African Barbie doll. Her hair was in the braids, and then they had beads in it. And the beads spelled her name on the back. I said, bitch, you better go ahead. I swear, whoever does her hair has got to be a person that does like hair shows and stuff. Please. It was the outfit, the whole concept, everything, sickening. And she did look. There is a black Barbie doll that looks like that. It's an African princess. Look just dead on it. I was like, you better go ahead. For me, during that, the two that I thought were the most flawless was Elliot and Simone. Tina Burner, girl, she had this little thing going on, and it was like 2-3 different reveals. It was garbage. It was garbage. It just looked like I did not like that at all, at all, at all, at all. It gave me Shady Pines. Like they went to the sale table at Joann's, honey, and was like, oh yeah, girl, let's use all this, honey. Like a bunch of tapestry fabrics all put together, honey, all shined up, honey. And then it was trying to give a little bit of comedy with, then the boobs was beaded, and then she pulled them off, and it was a mess. And it was Christmas beads, and it just looked cheap and costumey to me. I didn't care for it at all. And it wasn't flattering at all. It really gave me very B. Arthur as Maud goes Lady Bunny. If you can follow that. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Anyway, moving on. So our bottoms, Olivia won. Olivia won over the top. Our bottoms was Elliot and Lala. And they did a whole lot of Woman by Kelly Clarkson. Y'all know I love me some Kelly Clarkson. Listen, this was another. Now this season is definitely giving us some lip syncs for the books. Baby. That goddamn Elliot. They were both getting down. They were getting down, but Miss Lala, she got you, girl. She got you, bitch. I was like, and Elliot, she said, girl, I know, Lala really gets down. Girl, they scared of that Lala re-experience, honey. But Miss Elliot came up there and gave you Vegas, baby. Here we go, honey. She threw the hell down. They both were getting down. But Elliot, that bitch, she did a kick, fell into a whole 6 o'clock kick, fell into a split. She fell into a straddle. I said, girl, I ain't even the one that's always screaming about the splits and stuff. Yeah, okay, these little acrobatics. But the song and the way Kelly Clarkson sings that song, it was like Kelly's bad. Kelly's bad as shit. And it just was a fire that was lit up underneath Elliot. It's just one of them times. It was just her time. It was her moment. And she took her moment. And Miss Lala just perished in the moment, honey. That was all that it was. And it wasn't that Lala wasn't good, because Lala was getting the fuck down too. But she couldn't do nothing with her, girl. It was just her moment. Sometimes it's that bitch's moment. Miss Elliot turned it. I said, Elliot with the 2 T's, come on through, bitch. She turned it. But they sent my girl Lala home, honey. So, Miss Lala Ree, honey, we'll see you, girl. But, girl, you ain't got nothing to hold her. She was kind of down on herself during the untucked parts. And all the girls, that's why I said they came around her and really came to her aid. But, what nothing she could do. It just, things lined up. The planets lined up for Elliot. It wasn't, somebody had to go. And it was what it was. Because for a minute, I thought Rue was going to keep them both. For a minute, when it first, that's how good the performance. They were getting down. But hey, Miss Elliot, she showed up and showed out. All right, you guys, I'll catch y'all next week. Miss Gottmack, girl, get yourself together.